Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Review. I am David Allen, and I am here to talk to you about Super 7's O-Ring Plus line. So it's actually Reaction Plus, I should say. Um, I've been a huge fan of Super 7 since they've started doing toys probably around 2008 or so, and I've been following their reaction and doing interviews and following a lot of Brian Flynn's interviews. And so I've been very, very happy with their product. I enjoy their product. I buy a lot of their product in multiple different lines, not just GI Joe. I buy Thundercats, I buy Silverhawks, and I buy a lot of reaction figures from them. So it was obvious when they started doing the GI Joe reaction that I was going to get those as well. And when they got the license to finally do O-ring uh, type figures, I was going to be all in on that, and I was. And so I'm going to go over so far what they've created. I do not have the bat yet. I have it on order, but it has yet to come. So it's going to be a little surprising that I have all these others, but I don't have that yet. It's sold out on the Super 7 website, so I ordered it through the Big Bad Toy Store website. Um, so if you have any questions about Super 7, Reaction Plus, Reaction, let me know. Oh, yeah, Sometime Toys, they're worth it. The Reaction Plus, in my opinion, are worth it. There was a little bit of a mystery on the Reaction Plus with the Cobra Mothership, where we saw those Vipers, and it looked like they were going to be a little bit funky. We weren't sure exactly what they were going to look like, but I was ordering them, the 5 pack, and I was ordering the Mothership, and I was going to get the whole thing, but it didn't fund, so we never got those. So when they said they were going to be doing regular O-rings, it was the news of all GI Joes at that point. People have been wanting O-ring. Hasbro used to do them. They used to do them in those 2 packs that they did, those anniversary 2 packs. It was like the Trooper and the Officer, Duke and Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shatter. And they still technically are doing them because they did the Stinger with the Driver. They've done a lot of the Transformer collabs with a bunch of them as well. And there are probably going to be more collabs. So they're still doing O-rings to a certain extent. There's like 20 something of them through the current Hasbro version of O-ring. The problem with the Reaction Plus, I have the exact same issue with them. I've yet to see them at a Target, and I did an interview with Brian Flynn last year, late last year in December, and he was a little surprised that I hadn't found them here in Central Florida. And I have 5 Targets I go to on a regular basis, and I've yet to see an O-Ring Plus figure at any of those Targets. So either there's a lot of Joe fans buying O-Ring Pluses from Target, or the distribution's not that great. So thank you for that question, because that is an issue, and that's why I've had to pre-order almost every one that I have now. Have been pre-ordered. I ordered some from the Super 7 website, one from Target, one from Walmart.com. I've ordered several of the newer ones from Super 7. So I've gotten them all over the place, different places, but never have I found them in the store at a Target. So you're in Eastern Central Florida. So whereabouts is that? Because I'm between Daytona and Orlando. That's cool. Sometime Toys. Uh, there may be some surprises coming up this year. I can let you know if you're in Florida, you may be interested in that. But I'm going to go into this first. So the first wave, like I said, I did not get the bat because it's on back order on Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I ordered it because it was not on the Super 7 website. So that's the only one I don't have yet. Oh, Daytona. So you're really close to me then. Well, then this news that's going to be coming up soon, you're going to be very excited for sometime, Toys. And hopefully I'll be able to see you sometime in the future. Pun intended. So the first wave was obviously Snake Eyes comic book version, um, Cobra Commander, Sunbow version. Let me see if I can get a better picture of these up close. Let's see. So Sunbow, Cobra Commander, couple of different highlights. He has the head thing there, closer deco colors and stuff like that. So it's a really good version. I like it actually a lot. And they've been doing really nice Cobra Commanders, a lot of nice variant Cobra Commanders through the regular reaction line. So I think they've done a very good job with these Super 7. So there's his file card, and there's the 4 figures for Wave 1. So then, of course, like I said, there was Snake Eyes comic book version. The reason why this is considered the comic book variation of Snake Eyes is because he's got these dark blue highlights on his boots and his pouches and stuff like that. And the way that comics are made in the 80s, the inking and the coloring and stuff, they only had so many colors. So a lot of blacks came out like blue. So that's why this is a homage to the comics in the 80s. And there's his file card. Um, and then, of course, we got CoverGirl. That was one of the biggest omissions of the 80s is we never got a Sunbow animated uh, version of CoverGirl from the 80s. We got her with the Wolverine, but we never got another version. And this is really what she looked like in the cartoon. And so people really wanted that and they never got it. And I think they've done a really good job with the reaction version of her, but this O-ring is excellent. It's one of my favorites. Um, it's a really good interpretation of her on the card art. Yeah, I think the card art on these are really good. I can't remember the guy's name that does the card art, but he does a really good job. Um, there's the Cobra Commander one. So that was the first wave, and like I said, the Bat is on here as well, and it's the comic book version of the Bat. So it's more of the blue. They did an ultimate version of it, and I have it somewhere around here. The ultimate version of the Bat. So that's the version of the Bat that they made into a figure, which is a completely new version of the Bat. Uh, yeah, Absorbvids, that's true. I was just telling Sometime Toys the exact same thing. All the ones that I've gotten thus far are bought online. I've not found any in store. So then, obviously, my favorite, anybody that watches my channel that knows anything about me, that knows the Crimson Guard and Tomax and Samar are my favorite characters, and they are my favorite toys and in GI Joe. And Crimson Guard's my favorite faction of GI Joe. I love them. I'm a twin. I've done that shtick with my twin brother. I've talked about it many, many times. So, where in the cartoon they hit each other and they feel each other's pain and stuff like that. If you hurt one, the other one feels it. And they replicated this package beautifully. Super 7 went to a lot of expense to mimic this package from the original version. Now, I do not have an original version in the package. I do have this cool mouse pad. I've showed it off a few times. It's very similar. If you look at the uh, the artwork on there, they mimicked it really, really close. So that's the best I can show you. I cannot get an original. I've been trying to get an original Max and Save in their package. I have the figures, of course. I got several sets of figures, different versions, but trying to get this original package, vintage version, ooh, it's expensive. I almost had one. It was this close, but it reached too high of a price for me to get. So yeah, it, it's a really good homage to the original, and of course they're in their suits and they're their briefcases open up and they have their suits in there. So I think that was a brilliant idea by Super 7 to do that. And then the back with the mirror image of Tomax and Saymat, because that's the type of twins they are. Now I'm a twin, but I'm an identical twin. I'm not a mirror twin. There's 4 or 5 different types of twins: Siamese twins, mirrored twins, identical twins, fraternal twins, and so on and so forth. And fraternal twins can be a girl and a boy, or 2 boys that are different, or 2 girls that are different. So this is beautiful, and there's the file card for them. And so I love this because this is my favorite faction of my favorite characters. I ended up getting 3 of those, and that was exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store. They probably still have some of those, I would guess. I would hope. Anyways, um, then, of course, we got the reveal earlier in January that Duke and Serpentor were coming out. So they finally were able to be ordered through the Super 7 website. So I ordered them from there. There's Serpentor. I showed this off in a previous video with a comparison to the original Serpentor, and it looks pretty good, I have to say. They definitely changed this to make it more animated style. There's a lot more animation highlights and decos on this. Doesn't come with the chariot. The original is obviously the toy version. And so we have now Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, Cover Girl, the Bat, Tomax, Saymat, Serpentor, Duke. And again, artwork on this package is beautiful. Let's see. Oh, they've sold out Absorbids? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that because they're really cool. Maybe you'll be able to get them at a convention or two. I'm not sure if you go to any conventions or whatever, but there's a lot of regional conventions around the country. I'm hoping maybe there's one of those you can try to find it, and it won't be too expensive uh, from Big Bad Toy Store. Um, that sucks. I'm sorry about that. So there's Duke. And this is an animated style Duke as well. So you can almost see what they're doing with a lot of these. They're animation inspired, most of them, and there's a couple of comic book inspired ones as well. I hope they do more comic book ones. That's really where I want Super 7 to go for a lot of these characters that they have yet to make. And so these went up on pre-order, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I ordered them and I finally got them today. So that's why I'm really doing this video, is to show off these guys. Ramar. Now, Ramar is a really fun character. Um, he's a character that we've always wanted a figure of from the Sunbow animated first miniseries, The Mass Device. We never got it. And his sister, uh, Mira, I think it was his sister Mira. I'm not entirely sure if that's exactly right. But this is really nice. It's bigger than the regular figures. Let me get a regular figure. Here's a Duke. Now you remember these guys fought each other in the arena of sport, and you can tell there's definitely a bigger uh, difference in this buck. So I'm glad that they're going that route and they're expanding the bucks and doing different bucks from the original O-ring. And I'm glad they did the same thing with the twins, because that's a suit figure in O-ring that we really never got a legitimate suited figure. We got the kind of rehashed headman buck several times over the years, but they were not like really that great in my opinion. Oh, okay. Absorbids. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got most of them at least. But I love Ramar. I think he's really nice. He's got his headband there. He doesn't have anything else. I think it would have been cool to give him like one of those ball things with the spikes or whatever the hell then those things are to go after Duke, because they did a reaction Duke before. They had glow in the dark weapons and stuff like that. There's the file card for him, and of course, you know who's next? The Fatal Fluffies. Man, look at that. That guy is huge. He is really huge and he's got full articulation. His head moves. He's got all kinds of extra stuff. He looks really nice. I love the paint decos on him. I think the only thing that's missing was a little miniature one of him. Maybe they'll do another set of these down the road, like a space set or something like that, from the Pyramid of Darkness. But I'm so happy that we finally got the Fatal Fluffy as an O-ring version of that. I think that's another figure character that we've always wanted, and if that is where Super 7 is going to be going with these, then I'm happy because I want to see all these um, homages to characters like Honda Lou, like Satin, and those Snake Eyes and Shipwreck and Timber and those that close Satin's band. Other characters from the animated series, like the newspaper reporter, Hector Ramirez, would be a cool character because he tied into a lot of different brands, not only G.I. Joe, but he was in Gem and he was in Inhumanoids as well. So he would be somebody you could use for a lot of different brands. Um, who else? Sparks, maybe General Flag, General, several of the generals, maybe several of the characters that were in like civilian clothes, like Flint and Shipwreck would be kind of cool as O-ring. I would like to see some of the different versions of like Steeler and Flash and them from O-ring that were in different deco colors from the animation. That'd be kind of cool too. And maybe O-rings where characters' helmets come off, like Barbecue and Airtight, where their helmets came off, you get to see their head. That would be kind of new versions of O-rings. So Brian Flynn has said that they're not going to redo something that's already been done. So that's why I thought the Cover Girl was a little too close, but I guess not. I guess it worked for Cover Girl, but there's tons of comic book characters and comic book versions of characters that I'd love to see as well. So if there's some really cool characters that out there that you guys would like to see, let me know in the chat. I would like to shout them out for you. So there's a possibility we may also be getting a vehicle O-ring plus, or I should say, reaction plus vehicle. So I'm hoping we're gonna get to the Aspid. I've been begging Brian Flynn for that. Maybe at Joe Fest this year, we'll talk to Brian Flynn and we will get the scoop on what that vehicle is. And hopefully, we'll get some cool new O-ring reaction plus figures exclusive to Joe Fest like he did with the two reaction figures that are up there of Cobra Mortal and Glenda that were really cool. So I'm looking forward to what the future has in store for Reaction Plus. I think overall, I think they've done a really good job with these, and the packaging is really good. Art's really good. Um, it's it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I hope they're doing well. The fact that we're not seeing them in the stores, the fact that they're selling out online and all the retailers means that a lot of the O-ring collectors out there that have wanted O-ring are getting them, and that means that we'll probably get more O-ring or Reaction Plus figures. Um, I think the mothership was a little too soon. I think they've tried to bite off too much with that uh, before they could get the O-ring Reaction Plus style figures. So I'm hoping maybe they'll give that another run in a year or so after we've gotten a bunch of figures and we have an idea of what the quality of the figures are. Now, I don't open my figures up, but from what I can see, it looks like they're using the right PVC and the right O-rings and the right material they're made out of because it has that sheen to it. And an old GI Joe had a specific type of like sheen to it, the plastic and everything. If Patrick Stewart was on here, he could tell me exactly what that is, but I don't know the exact name of that. But you can tell by all these figures, they're very similar to the original O-ring. And Brian Flynn said from the beginning they're going to try to copy that model the best they can possibly, except with modern technology. So I think they've done a great job. I have to applaud them for it. And I look forward to the future of Reaction Plus. And so I have a few more cool videos coming out in the next week or two that you guys are gonna like, I think. The final episode of my um, Renegade Games Studio series is gonna be airing. Um, and I hope to get a friend of mine, Strike Force Alpha creator Matt LaCroix on an interview soon. So stay tuned to future episodes. This is just a quick one. I originally was going to do an episode for the event, the Hasbro Pulse event today, but that got canceled and rescheduled for March 18th. So hopefully, maybe before then, we'll get some hints from Toy Fair, maybe the Walmart Crystal Ball Night Force exclusive will be revealed, and so there's a lot of cool stuff coming between now and March 18th. So look forward to some more cool content in the future. And yo, Joe.